At just after 9 a.m. this morning, I met with Adem Somyurek and I informed him that I would be writing to the Governor to terminate his commission as a minister, to essentially sack him from my ministry. That letter was sent moments later and the Governor has accepted that advice, and Mr Somyurek is no longer a Minister of the Crown. I also informed him that it was my intention to write to the National Executive via the National Secretary of the Australian Labor Party and seek from them a termination of Mr Somyurek's membership of the Australian Labor Party. That letter has been sent, and it is my expectation that the National Executive will agree to terminate Mr Somyurek's membership of the Australian Labor Party. I also want to be very clear with you that I now regard Mr Somyurek as no longer a member of the Victorian Parliamentary Labor Party, no longer a member of my team, my caucus, my government. I have also asked the Attorney-General to refer all of these matters, as canvassed last night on the television and in various newspaper reports today, to both Victoria Police and to IBAC. And the Attorney-General has written in those terms. Those referrals have been made. That's what has been done this morning. I want to make it very clear to you, this government is about working hard every single day for the people of Victoria. And if you don't do that, or if you're not prepared to make that commitment, then you are no longer a member of my government. What Mr Somyurek said, what Mr Somyurek has done, so his conduct and his comments are completely deplorable, they are shameful, and it is on that basis that there is no place in my government for him. There is no place in my team for him. And that is what I informed him this morning. I want to be very clear with each and every one of you, and through you, Victorians. Mr Somyurek was not offered an opportunity to resign. He's not worthy of an opportunity to resign. He was sacked, and that is the fact of the matter. Any statements to the contrary are simply false. Now, in terms of comments, particularly in relation to my good friend and colleague, Gabrielle Williams, the Minister for Women, the Minister for Aboriginal Affairs and the Minister for the Prevention of Family Violence, I've spoken to Gab a number of times since last night's TV program, and I have reassured her of the support that I've always provided to her, the regard I've always had for her, and the fact that the things that were said about her are simply unacceptable, wicked comments, and I simply will not tolerate. I will not tolerate those sorts of comments or attitudes from any member of my team. Indeed, no Victorian should be tolerated if they hold those sorts of views about women and against women. In relation to Ministers Kairouz and Scott, I've had a conversation with them today, and I have sought from them an assurance that they have at all times behaved appropriately. They have provided me with that assurance. And I would, of course, make the point that these matters are now the subject of a referral, an appropriate referral, to both Victoria Police and the Independent Broad-Based Anti-Corruption Commission. Those inquiries will run their course. If and when they make adverse findings, if and when those frank and free inquiries are run, if they make findings, we will deal with those at the appropriate time. Based on the assurances provided by those two ministers, they will continue in their duties. And we will await the conclusion of appropriate investigations by Victoria Police and IBAC, and I am absolutely confident that both those bodies have the resources, the will, to do that job properly, without fear or favour.